of Americans United for Separation of Church and State, represents the greater Delaware Valley area. We hold monthly meetings in Center City, Philadelphia, in Bucks County, and in South Jersey. We sponsor and we take part in debates, and just in the last 6 months, Janice Rail, our Vice President, and myself were involved in 2 debates with the religious right. So one was at Temple University, the other one was at the Parkway Central Library right here in Philadelphia. And we were up on the stage with a couple of hardcore right-wingers. And it was a real experience, believe me, to be up on the stage with these sort of people. I think if any of you were there, and for those who were there, I think you'd have to agree that the good guys won the debate. We were much more prepared, and when it came down to citing evidence, Janice and I could rely on science, and we could rely on actual texts, but when it came down to it, our opponents only had scripture to rely on. I think it was really obvious who won those debates. We've also been very involved in school voucher issues that have been making a lot of noise in both New Jersey and in Pennsylvania, and I have good news. Last Wednesday, the House rejected the Pennsylvania school voucher bill, and I think I can safely say that our chapter had something to do with that. We're going to take partial credit for that. We went to Washington, D.C. We took part in an anti-voucher protest. We hosted several debates on vouchers. One debate, we had Senator Anthony Williams, who was one of the co-sponsors of the bill, at the debate. And luckily, we also had Burton Kane, who is a constitutional attorney at Temple University. Burton was arguing the other side, did a heck of a job, and I felt like we had Senator Anthony Williams on the rope there because our arguments were a lot stronger. So, Burton, thanks for your participation in that. We also did the typical things, wrote letters to legislators, and we wrote letters to editors. So, all praise to the Delaware Valley chapter for helping to defeat that bill. Another thing that our chapter does is that we hold church-state issues symposia. The last one we had back in April, we held at the National Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia, and it was a real success. We had a nice crowd, we had a nice cross-section of speakers, literally from up and down the East Coast. We even had a historian come as far away as Montana to make a presentation. We feel strongly that events like symposia are important because we need to keep this wisdom of church-state separation alive. And it's good to get together knowledgeable speakers on the subject, get a nice audience, have interaction. Another reason that I feel these symposia are important is a little more subtle. And that is, unfortunately, each generation that comes up needs to be reminded about the importance of church-state separation. This idea, this wisdom, doesn't automatically renew itself with each generation. So we consider events like these symposia excellent ways of making sure that this wisdom is handed down from generation to generation. Without groups like Americans United, that wisdom will be lost. As I said before, we are the only group that devotes 100% of our time to church-state related issues. So if you're not a member, I strongly encourage you to become a member and help us with our efforts. I'm now going to introduce Laurent Levy, our artist for the evening. Laurent is DVAU, our chapter's former treasurer. Laurent holds a Master's of Arts degree in Jewish music from Gatz College. He is also a piano performance graduate of the New England Conservatory of Music and concerto soloist with the Conservatory Symphony. Laurent is active and performs numerous concerts in the area, and he resides in the words of thanks, and then I'm going to turn the show over to Laurent. First, I want to thank the Ethical Society for letting us use their beautiful building at a significant discount. Also, the ACLU has contributed to this event. I'd like to thank my wife, Ellen Greenfield. She is responsible for most of the planning and the legwork for this. Thank you, Ellen. And also, thanks to our other board members, our Vice President, Janice Rail, and Dean Miller, our treasurer, who also did a lot of